Hey, what's slicing, everybody? Chris back with CAC Knives here with another knife review / knife overview with you today. A knife that I should have probably done a long time ago, considering that there is no review, to my understanding, of this knife in this configuration on YouTube. But we're going to go over it today, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts. Before we get into this, just a quick reminder. At the time of recording this, I am 15 subscribers away from 500, and at 500, I will be doing my first knife giveaway. So yeah, consider subscribing. We do cool knives like this all the time. I go over them, I unbox them once a year. I show my full collection, and it changes drastically every year. So yeah, if you like what I'm doing here, consider subscribing, guys, and like the video, please. It helps me out a ton. But anyway, let's get into this before I put my fingerprints all over it. We're just gonna go over what this knife looks like here. Let me give the blade one last quick wipe there. What we have here is a very high polished blue anodized titanium handle with one way you can do the flaming on it. There's a few different ways to show, or a few different ways to do flaming on knives. I have two other examples here to show you during this video. And this blade is Dragonscale Damascus, which I did try to find information on, and I was pretty unsuccessful, but it's a very unique kind of Damascus. And it has kind of, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that burnt finish on blades. It has kind of that. And then on the other side, we pretty much have the same stuff going on here. What you're seeing there, that mark, that's because of my fingerprint, which is why I'm showing this knife off like this before, you know, I start getting my fingerprints everywhere. And the pocket clip has the same, full titanium clip, of course. And as you can see, there's a lot of hardware. We kind of got that ball clip, which I actually don't mind. Some people don't like it, but it allows the pocket clip to go in and out of the pocket very easily. Now, this is clearly not even close to deep carry. Very odd pocket clip, in my opinion, but is what it is. Not reversible. There is some grip lines here, and you can definitely tell that the whole blade is Damascus just by looking there. You can look on the top of the blade, of course. We could still see it there. You can see it coming in there. And it's hard to show on the video, but inside there you can also see it. Let's see if I can get it this side. Yeah, you can see it down in there, around where the pivot is. So yeah, very interesting kind of Damascus. It is on bearings, of course. Almost in there, every knife's on bearings. But this is the DEFCON Barracuda. And I do have some things to say about this, some huge positives, some negatives, and we are going to go over that today. Let's get a quick measurement here before we start going over my 5 points. I like to give 5 points every video, 10 being good and 1 being the worst possible. Let's see, the blade length here, cutting edge is, it's almost 3.5, a little bit less than 3.5 there. What would that be? 3 3/8, I believe, is what that measurement is. And then overall length, we are at about 8 1/4 inches there. So pretty long knife there, definitely larger than average, of course. And let's go ahead and get into my 5 points on the knife. Fit and finish. See, this is where one of the negatives arises. If you're gonna make a beautiful blade like this, why are you putting your white or silver, whatever color you wanna say that is, logo engraved on the blade right there? Why would you do that? They did it over here. They did it over here. Why? I'm okay in a way with this stuff being on here. I mean, still not really. I don't think they should have put anything on this blade. But if you're going to make a unique blade and be the first, like, decently known production company to do so, why the heck did you put your logo on there? That's so upsetting. And that's really the only gripe for fit and finish. I don't see anything else really wrong with it. Not that I've noticed anyways. I mean, they didn't mill out the insides, but to be honest, this knife's pretty light for its size. The titanium's pretty dang thin. And you can see the flame's not lined up there, though it doesn't really have to be. That's not road coral of mine, but if you're picky about that kind of thing, then maybe that upsets you. It is kind of lined up on the bottom fairly well, though. So that's interesting. Maybe they were just lining up on the bottom. But it'd be pretty difficult to line that up. I should also mention that it came with some blue screws if you want to switch those out, but I think that'd be too much blue. Kind of like the silver offsetting, the blue. But as far as fit and finish goes, the only thing that I really have a problem with is that they put the logo on both sides of the blade. Everything else is good. I've had zero issues. Everything functions good, everything looks good. But man, putting that logo on the blade like that, and a different one on the other side, gosh, that really sucks, guys. Really, really sucks. It's so unfortunate. And it's kind of upsetting that they did that. So I'm going to dock it a whole point just for that. So we'll give it a 9 out of 10. Other than that, it's good. DEFCON usually makes good knives with my experience with them. I have handled 2 other DEFCON knives before. So, now both of those, same thing. Their logo was big on the blade. You know, at least put it up here and make it real small. Like, why right in the middle? I can't. So we're going to give it a 9 out of 10 for that. Price for the materials and the work. Well, see, this is where this gets a little fishy, because at the time that I bought this, I was able to get this on White Mountain Knives with a discount for around $200. And I don't know how much Dragonscale Damascus is really worth, because, like I say, the amount of information, especially on this production Dragonscale Damascus, is very low. And as far as I understand, not many of these actually exist. There are still a few available on DEFCON's website. At least at the time of this recording there is. But I have not seen many of these out there. And that makes me believe that there's not very many of these available. I know they did 2 runs of these. So, you know, I know they sold out the first time, then they did another run. But on their website, they're listed at over $250, I believe, right now. But I was able to get this for $200 on White Mountain. Not only was it cheaper, but it had the discount code. So if we're going to use $200 as the price, I would say that's definitely okay. $250, I'm not really sure. Like I said, if we're comparing the Dragonscale Damascus to Damasteel, you know, and full flame anodized titanium, that's still a pretty good price, even at $250. But, you know, I don't really know what composition this is. Though the fact that it is rare like this probably alone raises the price. You can get Dragonscale Damascus on other knives, but as far as I understand, they're all custom. I've never seen Dragonscale on a production knife other than this one. And there is one kind of Chinese cheap knockoff knife that has Dragonscale Damascus on it. That's only like $100, but be careful with that. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know if that's real. So just be kind of wary of that kind of stuff, guys. But yeah, for price for materials and work, I will give this at $200. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Smooth action, fidgetivity, very smooth. Very, very smooth. Barely needs any push at all. Drops. Give it just the tiniest little kick, it goes right down. I bet it would even do it sideways. Oh yeah, see that? So very smooth. You can only open it one way. I mean, I'm sure I could take my finger and open it this way. Maybe not with this one. The blade is very polished. Very smooth, so probably not actually. But it's very smooth. You just can't fidget it because only a flipper, of course. So for that, it needs to lose a point. I always make my knives lose a point when there's just a flipper and no other way to open them. So 9 out of 10 for that. Though, to be honest, you're probably not getting this for fidgetivity. You're probably getting this for its looks. Easy carry, and doesn't have a titanium clip option. Well, clearly it has the titanium clip. It's very easy to carry, very light. Even though it's a larger knife, you really don't notice it's in your pocket. So, pretty awesome knife in that respect. It is really not deep carry though. Everything to the left of my finger sticks out. Everything. So I think it should lose a point for that. That's kind of annoying. That's quite a bit. I usually don't have corals with my knife sticking on my pocket a little bit, but that's a lot of knife to stick out that much. It's quite a bit. So yeah, we're gonna have to lose a point for that. But again, you're probably not buying this for that purpose either. You are buying this as a nice keepsake knife that still functions well, of course, but this is probably a, you know, case display, carry around every once in a while when you want to keep checking it out in your pocket kind of knife. So, but we're gonna have to give this a 9 out of 10 for that category as well. And then easy to maintain. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, this knife has a, you know, I don't want to say it has a lot of hardware. It looks like it does because the clip has three spots on it, but that has nothing to do with the handle. In all reality, you can just, it does have a, I call it double pivot, but really what's happened is there's a, I don't know what you kind of want to call a loose pivot in here, and both of them are screwed into each side, which kind of makes it annoying. So it is going to lose a point just off of that for the easy to maintain, because it does make it more difficult. I did forget to mention, or maybe I did mention it, but I'm gonna mention it again. There's no milling in here, but there doesn't really need to be with this thin of titanium. They can't really mill much out anyways, so wasn't really a point of them doing that. But for the easy to maintain, for the double pivot, it's gonna lose a point, and it's gonna get a 9 out of 10 as well for that. So I'd say overall this knife is, it's a 9 out of 10. You're more than likely buying this not for function, but for a nice piece in your collection, because it's pretty rare that something like this exists. I can't say enough how much I wish that logo wasn't on that blade. I'm sure all of you guys agree. That's very annoying. But let me know what you guys think about this knife down in the comments. We're going to get to the size comparisons here. Let's go ahead and bring out the two main pieces here, that one of which I'm sure is in everybody's collection, one or the other, probably both, for knife collectors anyways. Got the Civivi Elementum and the QSP Penguin, and as you can see, bigger than both. I figured it was a little bit bigger than average, and it is. Let's switch them around just in case the camera is kind of a little bit of a crooked angle there, so I can just kind of show you. Yeah. Overall, I'd say the knife's about 2 inches longer than both of these. And the handle's about the same thickness, a little bit thicker than the Elementum, but as far as the Penguin goes, they're about the same thickness and handle, unless you're looking like this, and then you can really see how thin the DEFCON's handles are. They're thinner than the G10 part of the QSP. But yeah, let's bring out my other two examples of flamed titanium on a knife. We have the CRKT Tuna here, done by the CEO at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. He customized some flame handles and sold the knives like this. And this is probably the most common example of hand-done flame titanium. It looks a lot better in person than it does on camera. It's picking up this pretty well. This is about what it looks like in person. The blue is a lot brighter. It's going to be very hard to capture that blue. Oh, there you can kind of see it. Look how bright and vibrant that blue is. And it's very high polished, so that's why it's making it so difficult. But the flame, that is what they look like in person. They do not kind of move around. This flame here, if you hit it in sunlight right, it definitely has some color change to it. You can see where the flame hit it harder and where it didn't. Very cool, but on camera it kind of looks kind of bleh. So take that into account when you're looking at this kind of flame. In person it looks a lot better and a lot different. And I'd say the same is going to be said for this one. This one's kind of in between. You can see half of the beauty of it on camera. and the other half in person. It definitely also looks better in person, but on camera it looks kind of matte, like matte or whatever that word is. Got kind of that matte finish. Pocket clip definitely looks better, but the pocket clips of flame always look better because they're thinner pieces of titanium, so they always shine a little more. But yeah, these are 3 different kinds of flaming here. 2 of them are production. These 2 are both production. This one was done by hand. And you can really see the difference. Like when you see colored or flamed titanium, make sure it's the kind of flame that you're wanting. I really like flame titanium, so I'm perfectly fine having all 3 in my collection. These all look drastically different, in my opinion. Even these 2, you might think they kind of look the same, but man, we get them up here and they do not. So, you know. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I've not yet done a video on this. I have done a video on the CRKT tuna, if you want to check it out. This one will be getting a review hopefully before the end of the year. But that's all I have for you today, guys. Please consider subscribing. Almost at that 500 point. Hoping to get at 1,000 by the end of next year. That's kind of a personal goal of mine. If you like what I'm doing here, definitely subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment down below. I love hearing your guys' thoughts and opinions on knives and thoughts and opinions on knives in my collection. And I just like to chat. So yeah, with that, have a good rest of your day, guys. Thanks.